Okay, so the Torah tonight should be a zchut for all of our soldiers and all of our hostages, that they should all be returned safely, and our enemies should have a huge downfall. B'ezrat Hashem. Except for those 2 or 3 innocent ones then. Okay, so we're talking about Chodesh Cheshvan. Okay, this is a special class, spiritual energy of the month, and we're going to get into the essence of this month based on its Kabbalistic teachings and based on everything that we know about the month of Cheshvan, to try to get to an idea, to be able to tap into what's this all about. So the Bnei Yissaschar, so when he opens his discussion of Chodesh Cheshvan, so he brings a fascinating medrash that gives a lot of hope for the month of Cheshvan, that the month of Cheshvan is the month of the building of the third Beis Hamikdash. Okay, you've heard this before?
Like just recently, yeah.
Okay, so it's based on a midrash that it says like this, that really the Mishkan was really ready, that everything was ready to go in the month of Kislev. And yet, Moshe Rabbeinu waited until Nisan. So the month of Kislev came to Hashem with a complaint. And he said, it's not fair. Like, I was supposed to be, it made sense that I was supposed to be the month of the building of the Mishkan, and I got left out. So that's not fair. So Hashem said, don't worry, I'll appease you, that I'm gonna make it, that there's gonna be a big miracle, that in the second temple there's gonna be a big miracle, Hanukkah, and that's gonna be in your month. Okay? And so, like, we'll talk about this maybe when it comes to Hanukkah time, that we look at Hanukkah as the pinnacle of Bayis Sheni, of the second temple, because really that was the one time that Hashem's glory really, really shined forth in Bayis Sheni. Okay? And now the Bayis Rishon, the first temple, so it was really ready in Chodesh Cheshvan, and yet Shlomo HaMelech waited until Chodesh Tishrei. The Midrash says that the Gemara says that they didn't fast Yom Kippur. They were partying for the Hanukkah.
Yeah, apparently it was like, I don't know how this makes sense, but yeah, I did hear recently that like it was the drinks, like the sort of Hanukkah was during Sukkot or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
But then why do we celebrate it in Kislev? What was in Kislev then?
No, Kislev was the miracle of Hanukkah. Was in Kislev. Now the first temple, Hanukkah was in the second temple. Right. Okay, the first temple was supposed to be in Cheshvan. It was ready to go in Cheshvan. Shlomo HaMelech waited until Tishrei, and then same thing happened. The month of Cheshvan came out before Hashem, and it said that it's not fair. It was supposed to be me. Why do I get left out? And Hashem says, don't worry. You're going to be a very special month. You're going to be the month of Binyan Bayis Shlishi. Okay, so that's the medrash. So what's it come out? That Tishrei was the Chanukas Bayis Rishon. That the first temple was inaugurated in Bayis Rishon. The second temple was, the essence of the second temple was in Kislev, which is the third, and the third temple, the inauguration is going to be in Chodesh Cheshvan. Okay, so Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev. These are the first 3 months, and so these are the 3 months that are connected to inauguration of the Batei Mikdash, the 3 Batei Mikdash, the three temples. Okay, so what's unique about these 3 months? So the Arizal writes that all of the months are corresponding to different tribes, and the tribe of Tishrei is Ephraim, the tribe of Cheshvan is Menashe, and the tribe of Kislev is Binyamin. So what's the common denominator between these 3 months? These are between these 3 tribes, Ephraim, Menashe, and Binyamin. They are the only 3 tribes that come from Rachel. Okay, and Rachel, it says, it's called the Akeret Habayit. That she was the house, how do you say? I'm gonna. she's the ikar of the home. She's the essence of the home of Yaakov Avinu. She was it's called a hasmam.
Yeah.
That's the term. She made the home. Okay, that because Yaakov Avinu was more in love with Rachel than he was with Leah, so she was what made the flavor in the home. She was made the feeling in the home, and we look at her as the akarat habayit. Okay, so because she was the essence of the home, so the bayit, so the months which are corresponding to the three tribes that come from her, that Ephraim and Manasseh from Yosef and Binyamin, so those 3 months are the months that are connected to the bayit. Okay, and specifically, Rachel has a very strong connection to the month of Cheshvan, because her yard site is Yud Aleph Cheshvan, and so the essence of Rachel is really specifically in this, and that's why the greatest of all the Beit HaMikdash is going to obviously be the third, and that's why that really Rachel Imenu's essence is expressed in the month of Cheshvan. Okay, so this is the month of Rachel Imenu. This is the month of Rachel Imenu, and this is the month of the binyan habayit, of building a home, of building the kli, building the vessel of bringing Hashem's Shekhinah down. Okay, that's what we're trying to work on during this month. And so if we want to really understand the essence of the month, we should really look into the life and times of Rachel Imenu. Okay, so before getting into the life of Rachel Imenu, so I want to share with you another idea. That this is an idea from the Sefer Yetzirah. The Sefer Yetzirah, where it talks about the month of Cheshvan. So it notes that there's a letter which is connected to the month of Cheshvan. That is the letter Nun. Okay, there's 12 simple letters according to the Sefer Yetzirah, and each one is corresponding to one of the months. And this the month which is connected, the letter which is connected to the month of Cheshvan is the letter Nun. So what do we know about the letter Nun? What do you know about the letter Nun? So the Gemara says in Masachet Brachot that why is it that in Ashrei, in Kuf Mem Hey, so that Kuf Mem Hey is written according to the order of Aleph Bet. However, there's one pasuk missing, and that's the letter Nun.
Oh my gosh, so true. I never realized that.
In Ashrei, the letter Nun does not have a pasuk. The letter Nun doesn't have it because it goes from Mem to Samech. Malchutcha malchut kol olamim u'mashata b'chot avadar Samech Hashem l'chol hanaflim. It goes from Mem to Samech, and it skips the letter Nun. So the Gemara asks, why does David HaMelech skip the letter Nun? So the Gemara answers, B'pnei sheyesh ba nefilatan shel Soni Yisrael, that the letter Nun stands for Nefilah, which is falling. So because letter Nun is about falling, so that's why we don't want to praise Hashem with the letter Nun. It's a bad letter. Okay? So Nefilah, falling. So and you see this in the graphic of the letter Nun. So this is like you see it really clearly in Nun Sofit. In Nun Sofit, so it just goes straight down. It's the one letter that it just goes the whole direction of the letter. It's just there's no design. There's no nice little squiggles. There's just down. Right? That's Nefila. Okay, that's in the Nun Sofit. So now, interestingly, the Gemara continues. V'afa piken samchan David HaMelech Baruch HaKodesh, that David HaMelech supported the Nun, he supported the Nefila by saying Samech Hashem l'chol hanaflim. That he mentioned this Noflim, he mentioned the Nefila in the next pasuk of Samech. Samech Hashem l'chol hanaflim. That Hashem supports all those who fall. Okay, and that's next month. That's Kislev. Kislev, the letter of Kislev is the letter Samech.
Well, wait, sorry, what's simple letters?
I'm sorry?
Like you said, there's 12 simple letters.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So it says that there's 3 mother letters, and that's Aleph Mem Shin. Aleph stands for Avir, Mayim, Esh. So Aleph Mem Shin are called the mother letters because they're the three elements. Then there's the 7 double letters, and those are the letters that can appear in 2 ways, either with a dot or without a dot. Okay, and that's Beged Kaparat. And then there's 12 simple letters that they're not mother letters and they're not double letters. Okay? So Nun is all about falling. Nun is all about falling. So if the Nun is about Cheshvan, and Cheshvan is about and Nun is about falling, so the Cheshvan is the month of falling. Okay, so it really this is the month that teaches us like how to fall in a healthy way, how to fall in a way that's not going to knock us out, how to fall in a way that we're going to get back up again. Right? Okay, next month is a month of miracles, and they've been saying that this war is going to take a couple of months. So Hanukkah is the month of miracles. Kislev is the month of miracles, because then we have the Nun together with the Samech, and Nun together with Samech is Nes, which is miracle. Okay, so then when we have the Samech Hashem, we have the Smicha, when we have the support, the Samech together with the Nun, so then we have the miracles, and that's the miracles. That's why Hanukkah is the holiday of miracles, and B'ezrat Hashem. So we will see many miracles. We'll see already this month. Okay, but first, before we see miracles, we have to know how to fall, how to not lose ourselves, how to not get lost. Okay, so this is really, falling is the name of the game over here, and Rachel Imenu is the one that we look at if we want to be inspired. How should we fall? Because Rachel Imenu, she really fell. She really fell, because she knew that she loved Yaakov. She knew that Yaakov loved her, and Yaakov was all excited, and Yaakov was willing to work for Rachel Imenu for 7 years, and he was just like they were waiting, and at the last moment, so her evil father switched her and Leah, and she was stuck with this crazy dilemma. What should she do? Should she tell Yaakov? Should she not tell Yaakov? If she tells Yaakov, so then her sister will be humiliated. If she doesn't tell Yaakov, so then she's going to lose everything. She's going to lose everything. Okay? She's going to live being part of the Jewish people. She's going to be out. She's going to be on the outside forever. She had no clue. She had no clue that her father would change his mind and said, you know what? No problem. I'll give you Leah. I'll give you Rachel too. Just work me another 7 years. She that was not part of the agenda. She only knew that her father switched Leah, and now she's going to be on the outside. As far as she was concerned, she was probably going to marry Esav at this point. Okay, so she was ousted from the Jewish people for all eternity, and that's a big fall. That's a big fall. Okay, so that night she decided that I can't do it. I cannot hurt my sister. I cannot humiliate my sister, and she's kept quiet. The Midrash says that she is the epitome of shtika, of silence. That's why Esther comes from her descendants. Esther comes from Binyamin. Binyamin comes from Rachel, and by Esther it says, "Ein Esther magedet et malatav et etzah," that she didn't say a word about her identity, about her family, that she was just, every time the Achashverosh was trying to flirt with her, so she was just saying, I don't know, come on, like, just where you're from, around. And so Esther learned this silence from Rachel Imenu. The Rachel Imenu knew how to be silent. She knew how to hold her mouth when she needed to, in order to save Leah from being humiliated. So So now Rachel lost everything, and she's falling, and she's falling. Everybody's at the wedding. That Leah and Rachel are getting married, and she's mamish on the outside, and she's in her room. And what's she doing? Labiyut. What's she doing? So the Midrash says that she is crying. That she's crying to Hashem. Hashem, you can't let this happen. I know that it's the right thing that I didn't humiliate Leah, but I cannot be on the outside. It's just too big for me. It's complete impossibility. I'm crying to you, Hashem, that you need to do something about this. And she's crying her eyes out. That just, I don't know what you're going to do, but you have to do something. And this is the feeling. This is the feeling of being on the outside and saying, I feel so distant, and I can't stand being distant. I can't stand being out. I can't stand being down. I will not take this. Okay? That is how Rachel Imenu falls. That's why Rachel really, really represents this nun of Nefila, that she's telling us how to deal with being out. Okay? So it comes out that Rachel and Leah, they really are matriarchs. They're our teachers in two opposite ways of how to relate to Hashem. That Leah, so what's her thing? Leah is hapam odeat Hashem. That I'm going to thank Hashem. That she's constantly appreciating the good, and that's why the Midrash says that from Leah comes from King David. And what are we going to say? Yehuda, right? And from Yehuda comes King David. That King David is saying Hodol Hashem Kitov, Hodol Hashem Kitov. That he's always the one thanking Hashem. He's the epitome of gratitude. Okay, gratitude is when things are going well. She has kid after kid after kid, and Rachel represents the opposite way of relating to Hashem. What do you do when everything goes backwards? What do you do when you're on the outside? What do you do when you can't have children? So what do? You do not take no for an answer. Okay, you can't stand this. There's a famous Torah in Rabbi Nachman, Tinyani Yud Beis, called the Torah of Ayeh. Ayeh, Aleph Yud Hey. Okay, what is the word Ayeh? Ayeh is it's a word that we say in Kedusha on Shabbos. That Kavod Ma'alei Allah, that Hashem's glory, He is in the entire world. He fills the world. That Hashem's servants, the angels, that they ask each other, where is Hashem's glory? Where is Hashem's glory? So Rabbi Nachman explains, what does it mean, It means that when you're asking where, that means that you don't know where it is. It means you don't see it. It means it's not evident. It means it's not apparent. So Ayeh is that when everything is backwards, when everything is not there, it's dark. So you have two ways to react. You can react by complaining. You can just say like, whoa, like Hashem, you really left me down. Or you can understand that no, there's no such thing as Hashem letting me down. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? No, you're 5 minutes late. I know you're coming, but where are you? That shout, that scream, Ayeh, where are you? So that is what Rachel was doing. That she's from this place of distance, from this place of detachment, from this place of loss, of miss, but she's not going to take no for an answer. Okay, the cry out, that this tefillah of, I will not take no for an answer, I cannot accept being on the outside. So that is the tefillah of Rachel, which is the complete opposite of the tefillah of Leah. Tefillah of Leah is when everything's coming, how to appreciate it, and that's also not right. It's so easy for us to take the good stuff and just not appreciate it. And Leah is reminding us that no, you have to appreciate everything, you have to constantly be giving gratitude. And Rachel is the opposite. Rachel is, what do you do when you're not getting anything? When things are being taken away from you, when things are going backwards, when everything makes no sense, that you shout out. Rachel teaches us that that's when you shout out, Ayeh, where are you? Where are you? It can't be. It can't be. And when you shout out Ayeh, so that's when Hashem appears. Okay, and so this is a different kind of connection. There's a connection from closeness, and there's a connection from apartness, from distance. There's an interesting study done that I read about, that the people are most in love. They're most in love with the people that they love when they're apart. When they miss the person that they love, then they're more in love with the person that they love when they miss them than when they're close. Okay? If you ask them which would you rather, so of course they rather have a person close. But when you're more in love, when is there a feeling of greater closeness? There's a feeling of greater closeness when you're apart. It's paradoxical. And that's the kirva of Rachel. That's the kirva of Ayeh. That's the kirva of Nefila. Okay, this is something that we can actually appreciate. We can appreciate hard times. You can appreciate when we don't see Hashem, because when we don't see Hashem, so then we cry out. And I was talking to somebody about davening, like davening during these times. That somebody was telling me that it's hard for him to daven when things are so bad. I told him I don't understand. I think it's the most easy thing in the world to daven.
Yes,
I think that when things are hard, so then it's so I don't have to. I find myself just like the middle of the night, just crying, and it's so obvious. It's so not to mention every time of them davening Shemona Esrei, that it's so obvious. Hashem, we need you desperately. You need to save us. You need to do something about these hostages. You need to do something about this war. And it's so there's no time for philosophy. I understand what he was the thought process. Yeah, when things are so bad, so how can I talk to Hashem? I'm a little bit angry at Hashem, a little bit sad, but I don't know. I don't think that's a normal response. I think that's a weird response. I think that normal people, when things are really bad, so then it's so easy. All these Tehillim groups, all these, it makes it much easier to daven when things are bad. And this is the love, this is the closeness, the connection that can only come from separation. It can only come because where are you? Because we have this horrible thing that happens. So this is a certain kirva, a certain closeness that can only come through detachment. So that's why Rachel Imenu, so she was put aside. She was given this job that for all eternity. So Rachel Malak al Banah. That's why it says that until Mashiach is coming. So Rachel is sitting there and she's crying to Hashem, bring them back. They're in Galus, they're in exile, they're on the outside, that they can't be, this can't remain, this can't continue, that we're on the outside, it can't continue, that our enemies are killing us. It has to stop. And she's the one that knows about being in Galus. She's the one that knows about being on the outside. And she's the one that is ultimately, because of her crying, is going to bring us back. Okay? So this tefillah of Rachel, so this is actually hinted to in the month of Cheshvan. And this is a Torah from Rabbeinu Rab Sishcha, that he taught that, the month of Cheshvan, the true name is actually not Cheshvan, it's actually Mar Cheshvan. Okay? So I know when I was a kid, they taught us that it's Mar, it's a bitter month. It's a bitter month because it doesn't have any holidays. I don't know if that's a real thing. But Rabbeinu Rab Sishcha says that's also connected to what we're talking about. But Rabbeinu B'Sishcha says that the word Mar Cheshvan, it comes from the word Mirachshan Sifase, that his lips were, what do you say? Were what? Mumbling, yeah, I guess. That his lips were moving. And it's a reference, it's a pasuk in Daniel, that his lips were moving, that he was whispering, that it's reference to prayer, that when a person's lips are moving, so then that's how we describe prayer, right? And so the month of Cheshvan is all about prayer, and that's why that the only noteworthy thing in halacha, in the halachas of Cheshvan, is only one thing. It's only that starting Motzei Shabbat, so we have an addition in the davening that we start saying V'tein Talamat Alivracha. Okay, we start asking Hashem for rain. Right?
Wait, this Motzei Shabbat?
Mm-hmm.
It was Meshiva
We didn't start asking before?
No, Mashiv Haruach we started on Simchas Torah,
Yeah.
and V'tein Talamat Alivracha,
Oh.
so we only start Motzei Shabbat.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not the only one. I remember when my first year in yeshiva, I made the same mistake, and then I was all upset about like how could it make sense that it's so bad, and like what happened to all my davening? That all went to the garbage, and a lot of
No, isn't it the
existential
same?
crisis.
It says like the 4th or 5th of December or something.
That's outside of Israel. However,
When it's
even all the poskim say that if you're in Israel for the year,
What if you don't know?
it doesn't mean the year. It means if you're here from if you're in Israel until Zayin Cheshvan,
Oh, that's Motzei Shabbat.
until yeah,
Okay.
then right now then you're part of Israel and you do like that.
Also, why is it 4th or 5th of December? Like, I always found that weird. It's like an English date.
The English date is not secular per se. It's simply solar.
Oh.
Meaning that there's things that are dependent on the solar calendar and things which are dependent on the lunar calendar. So December 4th or 5th is really a description of a certain thing that's happening in the solar calendar, which is the same thing every year.
We had lots of rain last days, like Barak was flooded. Is there any significance? This means bracha or?
Because I accidentally started praying early.
It's all your fault. I mean,
Yeah, my fault as well.
I didn't hear about this.
It was flooded. Barak was flooded completely. I saw the videos.
It was flooded. Well, you know, I mean, one of the things about the month of Cheshvan is that's when the flood started. Parshas Noach. So we'll get to that, perhaps. Okay, so the word Mar Cheshvan comes from the word Tefillah. Mar Hashem Tzvasei, our lips are moving. That's why the unique thing, the halacha of the month of Cheshvan is the halacha of prayer. Okay, that's
Cheshvan is one word?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Even according to what our Maras taught us, it's one word. It's just like it's a hint to Maras, but it's not hyphenated. Menachem Av is hyphenated. Mar Cheshvan is simply one word.
Right.
Okay. So Mar Cheshvan is about davening. That's why the unique halacha of tefillah of Cheshvan is a halacha of tefillah, and last but not least, this is not last. I'm sorry. It's also not least. Nothing is least. Everything in my class is important, so there's no least. But there's a tribe. We said that there's a tribe which is connected to the month of Cheshvan, and that is the tribe of Menashe. Okay, so Menashe. So first of all, he has the same element as Rachel Imenu, because Menashe was actually he was the firstborn. He was supposed to be the firstborn. He was supposed to be the Bechor, and yet he lost it. He lost his first birthright, right? Because when Yaakov gave them the brachot, so he switched his hands. So he twisted his hands, and he put his right hand on Ephraim, and he said, "B'chol Yivarach Yisrael, Yisemcha Elokim ke'Ephraim v'Menashe, v'yasem es Ephraim lifnei Menashe." That he put Ephraim before Menashe, and Yosef got so upset. He said, "No, Dad, no, Menashe is the Bechor. Put your right hand on him." And he said, "No, my son, Yadati b'nei Yadati, that gam hu yala'am v'hu gam hu yigdal, but v'achiv hakatan yigdal mimeno. But his younger son is going to be bigger than him. Ephraim is going to be bigger than him." And so that is who comes from Ephraim? Yeshua. Yeshua comes from Ephraim. So Yeshua is the one that he's going to conquer Israel. Okay? So, so what do we know? What do we know about Menashe? Menashe, that he was supposed to be in the spotlight, and he lost the spotlight. And oh my gosh! And it's flooding. And
Wow.
so,
It just flooded you and you're alive.
I hope it's water. It's water?
Oh,
It's water and electrolytes.
I was gonna say it looks like there's like a
Electrolytes?
lemon or something.
Okay.
Lost electrolytes.
It tastes good, okay?
So,
You absorb.
so it says that he lost the birthright, and yet he was never jealous. He was never jealous. He was never upset. And some commentators say that when it says that when we're giving the brachos, Yisimcha Elokim K'Ephraim V'Chem Menashe, so part of the intention is that Ephraim and Menashe were not jealous of each other, that they were just living in complete harmony. They were just the complete brotherly love. And Menashe never held a grudge against Ephraim for losing everything. So he really, really knew how to take a loss that without any feelings of animosity. And so Menashe really, he took Rachel's essence of how to take a fall properly, and this is really hinted to in his name, in the name of Menashe, because when Yosef gives the name to Ephraim, so it says Ephraim comes from the word Kifrani, Elokim be'eretz ani, Hashem increased me, like the word Peru or Vu. Hifrani, Hashem expanded me, whereas Menashe is Kinashani Elokim, Mikol Amali Mikol Beis Avi, that Hashem forgot about me. Right? This is Yosef saying in the land of Egypt that when he was having Menashe, it was coming from a feeling, from an emotion of being forgotten. And when he was having Ephraim, it was coming from a feeling of abundance, of appreciation. Okay? So already from their birth, so Menashe was about lack and how to deal with lack and how to respond to lack, and Ephraim was about abundance. So Menashe really, really took the essence of Rachel. Okay? Now, Rabbi Nachman, in the second Torah, we might end up learning this in Sam, but we'll see. In Torah Beis, in the second Torah in Likutei Moharan, so he's talking about tefillah. He's talking about tefillah, and he says a very interesting thing. He says, "Ikar klizeno shel Mashiach hu tefillah," that the weapon of Mashiach is davening, is prayer. Shehu b'chinas chotam, and prayer is connected to the nose. Kama shekatuv v'tehilati achatam lach, because it says the pasuk in Yeshayahu that my praise to you achatam lach. So the literal translation of achatam lach is that I will conclude to you. I will fill up all of my praises to you. But Rabbi Nachman notes that the word achatam, literally, the word sounds like chotam, which is nose. So it sounds like there's some connection between nose and davening. And so this is the essence of the Mashiach, that the Mashiach is going to have a good nose. He's going to, because he's going to have a good, not a big nose, a good nose. He's going to know how to use his nose, and he's going to know how to daven with his nose. And Misham Iker Chiyuso, and it's from that he's going to get his life source. V'kol milchamta sheyaseh v'chol hakvisha sheyichbaish, hakol misham. And all of the wars that he's going to fare, and all of the conquerings that he's going to conquer, it's all from his ability to daven. Okay, so he's talking about the Mashiach over here, and he's talking about the Mashiach which is going to conquer the world. So which is this Mashiach that's going to conquer the world? So we know that there's actually two Mashiachs. There's Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. So what's the correlation between Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef? So Mashiach ben Yosef, his job is to conquer the world, and Mashiach ben David, his job is to bring Hashem's glory into the world. Okay?
But we already got Michelle Ben Yosef, right?
No?
No? Okay.
Isn't it one comes if there's
So
like
Mashiach ben Yosef is like
negative? learn how to be good people? Or do they both
No, they both come. The question is if Mashiach ben Yosef has to die.
Oh.
That's the question. That's the question in the Gemara and Sukkah. Is Mashiach ben Yosef going to die or not? But
Because like, isn't it Tchiyat HaMitim when Mashiach comes?
no, it's much after. Tchias HaMeisim is much after Mashiach comes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a complicated thing. I know somebody that was obsessed with Mashiach coming because her fiance was killed in a car accident, and she was really she became obsessed with Mashiach because she really just wanted to see her fiance again, and like, I don't know, I don't remember if I decided to burst her bubble or not to burst her bubble. That it doesn't work like that. They really, Tchias HaMeisim is actually much later.
Oh my
40 years
goodness.
after, yeah?
Right?
40 years after?
It's not clear. It could be 1,000 years later.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I think you're gonna have to have a class on Mashiach.
Okay. Maybe Mashiach will come and give us the class himself. That'll be a guest speaker.
Wait. Oh no. So.
I'll have to find a new place for the class.
So one Mashiach is like a soldier?
Oh,
Not rabbi?
so that's what Rabbi Nachman is saying over here. So first of all, he's talking about Mashiach over here, but he's talking about Mashiach who's going to be conquering the world. Okay? So which Mashiach is he talking about? He's talking about Mashiach ben Yosef. Okay? That is Menashe. Okay?
Come at the same time, or is it Ben Yosef before then?
It seems like one's before the other. We don't really know anything.
That's what you were saying with the dying thing.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about Mashiach ben Yosef, and Rabbi Nachman says that how he's going to conquer the world, he's going to conquer the world with his tefillah. He's going to conquer the world with his prayers. There's not going to be an atomic war. There's not going to be a war with Chavot Baza, and it's gonna be a war of prayer. It's going to be a war that's going to be accomplished with the spiritual. Okay, he's going to manipulate how things are going to turn out with his prayers. Okay, like it was never clear to me what does he mean. Does he mean that through his prayers that all of our enemies are going to just realize that they don't want to be our enemies anymore, or just that through his prayers all of our enemies are going to die? I obviously prefer the second option, but no, I'm joking. I don't know. It's a.
Both are fine. If they
What?
realize
Do I really want Arabs to be around when Mashiach is here? Okay, I'm going to lose viewers on this YouTube channel very soon. Okay, so just kidding. So Rabbi Nachman writes that Mashiach ben Yosef is going to do all of his works with tefillah. Okay, he's going to conquer the world with tefillah. Okay, and then he takes this a step further. And he says that this is connected to the nose. That he's davening with his nose. Now, why is this connected to the month of Cheshvan? Because the Sefer Yetzirah writes that the sense which is connected to the month of Cheshvan is the Chush HaReach. It's the sense of smell.
Why does the nose make him better at praying? Is it like how they say the horn of the head, like while bowing, or?
Nope.
The nose is like.
No, that's what I want to try to understand. What does it mean to daven with your nose? What does it mean to daven with your nose? Yeah, there's some crazy guy at the kotel that he smushes his face against the kotel. Oh, you're on the girl's side. You don't know.
No, girls do that too.
Oh, by us, it's only one crazy guy.
What, who put their face on the cutout?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's really, really weird. What?
Oh, wait, like rub it?
Rubs his head against.
I've only seen a few do that.
Anyway, so what does it mean to daven with your nose? What does it mean to daven with your nose? Okay, so what does it mean? What is the essence of the sense of smell? Okay, that's the question. So first of all, it's very interesting that besides smelling, so what else do we do with our nose?
Taste. Kind of. Yeah.
No, smell is not taste. Smell is connected to taste. you can taste. You just taste. You smell is smell and taste is taste. Taste and smell complement each other, but you don't taste with your nose. You smell with your nose. But there's something else you do with your nose besides smelling. That is, you breathe with your nose. Okay. Okay. You also. So yes, you also sneeze with your nose. Okay? So you also sneeze with your nose, and so.
I was gonna say,
This is why I'm not in college.
girly, come on, that's
So what's the connection between smelling and breathing? What's the smelling between? So there's something about smell, which is that there was something very. Breathing is your life source, right? And that's what the Rabbi Nachman says. That he gets his life from davening. He's becoming alive through his davening, and if your smelling is connected with your life source, that's telling us that there's something that if you know how to use, if you have a good nose, if you have a good nose, that means that you're really, really living life. Now, what does that mean? So there's an idea that it's through your smell that you actually experience life to the fullest. Okay? Or in other words, that in any experience that you have, so the closest connection that you have to the experience is the way that you smell it. Okay? That's why it says that memory is most connected to the smell. That smell jogs the memory faster than anything else. There's something very real. There's something that when you smell something, it makes the experience there. You ever notice that when you smell something, smelling something can make you throw up. Mm-hmm. Having a bad smell can make you throw up. Tasting something bad can never make you throw up. Seeing something can never make you throw up. Right? There's something special about something about when you smell something, you're really there. You're really experiencing it. Okay? There's on WhatsApp you can send a picture, you can send a voice note. You can't send a smell note. Right? You have to. If you can smell it, then you're really there. Okay? I read this interesting story about a girl who was sexually assaulted when she was young, and from that assault, she lost her sense of smell. Apparently, so it came out through therapy that apparently that her assailant had a very bad smell, and so she was like, her internal defense mechanism was trying to get rid of him by getting rid of the smell. Okay, and then in therapy, as she was healing from the trauma of the assault, so she regained her smell. Okay, meaning that the smell is very directly connected to the experience and the memory of the event. Okay, so we're talking about smell. We're talking about having a good nose. What does that really mean? Having a good nose really means that you're really, really present. Having a good nose means that you're having a high conscious life. That you're very, very aware. You're very mindful of everything that's going on. To be full of smell. I read that during Corona. I read this interesting blog of somebody that the people that lost the smell, and there's some person who was writing about the fact that their smell never came back, and she was writing how she doesn't want to live anymore. That life she has no interest in going to social events anymore, no parties and no movies and no sports games, and without smell, life is just boring. Life is just worthless. And so it's I remember when I was reading this, I was thinking whoa, come on, calm down, girl. Life is still awesome, but And of course, like that's horrible. Like to want to end your life because you can't smell is like it's just completely ridiculous. But I can take from her that she got Rabbi Nachman's understanding. She would certainly agree to this class that you experience life through your smell. Okay, so now what does it mean? So what does it mean? That being said, that's what it means to have a good nose. That means that having a smell means having a life source. That's why we breathe through our nose. So to have a good nose, if you know how to daven, you can't daven well unless you have a good nose. Okay, that's telling us that to daven, you need to be able to experience the fact that you're davening. It needs to be that you're in a different world. It means that it's taking you to a different place. So that's what it means to daven. To daven with a good nose, utihilati achatam lach, that what he says that my praises to Hashem, the tefillah is to do with your nose. What it means is that to really daven means that you need to experience the fact that you're in a different world. Okay, that's what it means to daven with your nose, and that is the essence of the month of Cheshvan. Okay, the chush hareach, being able to smell, means to be able to really, really experience everything we do, in the feeling that the only way to really cry out to Hashem is if, as you're falling, that after, which I think everybody feels this, like to a certain extent. Like you don't need to wake up to turn on your phone to the fact that 300 people were killed to feel that there's a certain down after Simchas Torah. That there's a certain, like even in a normal year. So there's some down, some fall. Like after we just finished Simchas Torah, we just had Rosh Hashanah, we had Yom Kippur, we had Sukkot, we had Simchas Torah. Like it's like all, so much celebration. Then that's it. See you Hanukkah time. Like it's a real down. Like there's something built into the month of Cheshvan that it's a real down, it's a real fall. And how do you take the fall? By experiencing the fall, by smelling the fall, by really not ignoring the fall, not ignoring the fact that you're feeling distant, to be very, very super conscious, hyper conscious of the fact that things are not exciting, that things are not the way that you would like them to be. And from that consciousness, from that feeling, from that smelling of the loss, from the detach, from that to cry out. And that's what Rachel Imenu teaches us. Okay, so now to finish off, so what is the constellation? What is the mazal? What is the astrology of the month of Cheshvan? So it's Scorpio. Maybe Sagittarius is next week? Is next month? Is Kislev?
Yeah.
So Scorpio is Akrab. Akrab is the scorpion, obviously. And so what do we know about Scorpios? So first of all, they're secretive and private, which is like Rachel Imenu, that she was keeping her secrets, and like Esther Amalka, she was in Esther Megedet, she was just keeping to herself, and people born in Cheshvan.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. One of the character traits of the astrology of the constellation of Scorpio is that they're secretive and private, as well as being intense and passionate. Okay, that's chosharech. Okay, that's really having a high conscious life. Okay, that they're really experts in really, really being passionate. Okay, they're also very caring. They're also very caring. Now this is also obviously this is a trait of the Mashiach ben Yosef, is to be like to save the world. You have to be a very caring person. And that's another interesting thing about the tribe of Menashe, that Menashe is one of the 2.5 tribes that their settlement in the land of Israel is actually on the other side of the Jordan River. Reuven and Gad asked Moshe that we would like to have our inheritance on the other side of the Jordan River. And so it says that Moshe he asked Hashem, and he said, okay, but you have to, as long as you go first, you have to be the premier soldiers and when we conquer the land, and then you can do it. But he also gave them half of Menashe. So Medrash says, why did he give them Menashe? So Menashe, so they were Talmidei Chachamim, they were rabbis, they were Torah scholars, and so he wanted to send the Torah scholars to the other side because he was concerned that if you're so far away from Eretz Yisrael, so then you might have a spiritual downfall, and so it was Menashe's job to make sure that they don't fall down. Okay, so it's mamish that Rachel's child, Menashe, so she's the one on the other side. He's the one on the other side, just like Rachel Imenu herself, that she's the one that she's the one like that outside. She didn't make it to Maras Machpelah. She got it like she was the one like that she could only be married to Yaakov Avinu when they were outside of Israel, when they were in Aram Naharaim, and so her whole essence is being on the outside and wanting to come forward. Okay. Scorpios are also very independent. They don't care what other people think. They're very strong-minded, and this is obviously a messianic trait. I'm the one saving the world. I don't tell other people about my thoughts. I keep to myself, but I really couldn't care less what other people think, and this is really this is how they save the world, and this is how they stay strong in the face of falling, in the face of not being where they want to be, is that you when everybody else is complaining, so everyone's telling you that you should be down, and it's because of their independent thought of not caring that no, I can be radically hopeful, and that's okay. Now, they also have some negative traits. They tend to be a little bit vengeful. And Rachel Imenu was the tikkun of this. She was the complete opposite of this vengefulness, and that she was completely giving to her sister Leah. They have a lack of trust. They have a lack of trust, which is the negative side of secrecy, and they have a side of aggression, which is the negative side of intensity. Okay, so this is really all of the traits of the Scorpios. So they're really connected to this tikkun of Rachel as being the one who's on the outside when you're it's like a spy, like being on the outside, that you need to keep secrets. You need to this radical hopefulness. Like if you're gonna tell everybody about your radical hopefulness when you're going down, so then people are gonna make fun of you. So you have to be like this strong-willed person that just doesn't give up, doesn't take no for an answer, and just keeps it to yourself. And so this is what Rachel is all about, and this is what Binyan Habayis is all about. This is what the Akeres Habayis, Rachel, we said, is the Akeres Habayis, and so that there's a. I mentioned before that the flood took place. The Mabul started in the month of Cheshvan, and the reason why there was a flood, so the Zohar writes, is because a lack of kelim, that there was a certain light which was being brought down in the month of Cheshvan, but we didn't have the vessel. So when you have too much light and not enough vessels, so what happens? Shvira, it's breakage, chaos, destruction. That's the mabul that happened. It's light without kelim. So Rachel, as her tikkun in the month of Cheshvan, she's teaching us what do we need to do to build these kelim. So when we're falling, when we're on the outside, so how do we build the kelim in order to receive this great goodness that's waiting to come down? The way that we build these kelim is through tefillah. Okay, it's through emunah, it's through this strong-willedness that I'm not willing to take no for an answer. That whenever the whole world is telling me it's okay, life can go on, I'm saying no. I refuse that life should go on. That I refuse to take no for an answer. That was Rachel's ability. That was Rachel's ayeh. That was Rachel's cry that this cannot exist, and that is from that radical hope, from that tefillah. That is how she builds the kelim. Okay, so this is the in a word, to summarize. So how do we how do we make the most out of the month of Cheshvan? How do we fall? How do we learn from Rachel how to fall, how to be on the outside, how to deal with rejection, how to deal with when everything is backwards? That Rachel teaches us this radical hope that in the face of all rational thought, that even though everyone is telling us that just take an L, you're on the outside, she will not take an L. And it's through this radical hope, through this cry, Aye, I know that you're not here, but you have to be here. There's no such thing as you not being here. So that cry, that is how we build a vessel, and that is how the light comes down. So through this horrible nefila that we've had on Simchas Torah, and things are things that have not been so bad since the Holocaust. So how are we dealing with this? How are we dealing with this? We are not taking this as a reality. We are not just being sad. We're not calling for a day of mourning. We're saying that this cannot exist. This needs to be obliterated. This will be obliterated. And this is there's no such thing as just going on, just accepting. And this is what Rachel teaches, and this is what brings the bias. This is what brings the Beis Hamikdash. This is what brings the Mashiach. This is what brings the Geula. B'ezrat Hashem.